Okay, here we've got Taito Milestones 3. We play on Nintendo Switch, courtesy of NN Games. I want to thank them very much for the opportunity. So there's a collection of Arcade Archives games. Some of them are available separately. All of them available in this collection. So we've got Bubble Bobble. We have Rainbow Islands. We've got Wrestling Saga 2, Champion Wrestler, which is one of my favorites. Which is surprising because I didn't think I'd like it. It's a really awesome game. We got Kadash, Thunder Fox, Runark, Warrior Blade, and Dead Connection. Now, I'm not going to go over Bubble or Rainbow Islands. Those are pretty straightforward. They are the arcade ports. If you played a Taito arcade game, you've played Rainbow Islands and Bubble. Wrestling Saga, kind of the same kind of deal, but I'll go ahead and show it anyway, and I'll show the rest of them as well. This is Wrestling Saga. Pretty cool game. So this is a hack and slash side-scrolling game. That's pretty cool, pretty neat. A couple of these games remind me of Sword Sedan back on the Sega Genesis. Everybody has played that. This feels kind of the same. Maybe like a Wonder Boy as well as another game that comes to mind with this game. A couple of others. But this is Restoned. Really cool hack and slash arcade side-scrolling game here. A little bit of a action-adventure feel to it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next game. Response Saga 2 feels a bit on the cheaper side of things, if that makes sense. And you'll see why here in a second.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay, we're going to start the game here. So this game is more of like a action-adventure RPG, more along the lines of what I envisioned the game to be when I initially started playing this. But in this game, you very similarly like the original game, you go through each stage, beating up enemies. But the difference here is you get power-ups and you level up, which is kind of cool. You get different weapons. The sprites are much bigger, as you can see here, a lot bigger. And I say it's one of the cheaper side because it just feels... It doesn't feel as polished as the first game. But at the same time, I think this game is a bit better than the first one. Although it does look a little, like I said, a little cheesier than the first one. I like this game better because of the leveling up system and the fact you get different weapons. And it's kind of a better overall experience, in my opinion, when comparing Reston to Reston 2. I love how big the sprites are. Pretty cool. Again, reminds me of Sword Sudan quite a bit. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next title. And we got Champion Wrestler. Pretty cool wrestling game. Pretty awesome. Again, definitely not a game I was expecting to enjoy, but really also my favorites, highlights of this collection, honestly. So we got Rocky Garner, Miracle Reston, Matterhorn Decker, The Samurai, Nitro Panks, Black Machine, Jimmy Carbon, Cobra, Bloody Joe. I'm going to go ahead and go with Reston from the Reston series games here, I presume. So a pretty cool wrestling game. I mean, it feels almost like a fighting game a little bit, it's like a fighting game side scrolling beat 'em up, but it really truly is a really cool wrestling game. You got wrestling moves. You can jump up on the ropes here. If I can actually get him to do it, come on, thank you. There we go. You can jump off and attack your opponent. And you just fly. I love how you just fly across the the ring. And it's just a really cool little wrestling game, honestly. Like I said, it's just fun. You get weapons thrown up, and you can use weapons. And it's just a cool game. You got 2 buttons. That's all you got. And you just have to take out your opponent. It's pretty cool. Also, one of my favorite games in this collection for sure. Let's go ahead and move on. Alright, we got Kadash. Again, another game that gives me that Sword Sedan kind of vibe. Oh, it Friday it actually I'm gonna reset the game. Yep. I forgot I create a save and it'll so when you create an interrupt save from the menu here, it'll automatically reboot that it'll automatically boot the game into that save state. Totally forgot about that. I was wrong. This is not the Sword Sedan type game I was thinking of. This is actually an RPG. An action RPG, similar, side-scrolling RPG, similar like Zelda 2. So you got the fighter, the mage, the priest, or the ninja. I prefer the fighter. So the game, you can choose your name. I'll go and just do OGC. And this is really kind of cool. It's kind of different. I wasn't expecting a action RPG like this, especially an arcade game. Whereas you have a timer at the top, starts at 7 minutes. Now you can change that. If you go to the menu, you can go to game settings, and you can change. You can do easy, normal, difficult, or normal, hard, or easy. You also do the start time. You can do 8 minutes or 5 minutes. That's per credit. You also buy additional time. You can do demo sound, preference settings, experience display on. I'll do that. Why not? Audio settings, line ranking, reset score. So a couple of options there. Just display settings. This is again available in every single game. Display frame, I'll do off. Display position, display size, display direction, wallpaper. If you want wallpaper, you can turn it on or off. You have a screen filter if you want. Kind of cool. I'll do off though. And no. Yeah, sure, why not? I forgot, if you modify the settings, I'll have you reset the game. Alright, so like I said, this is a action RPG that's just really kind of neat. Especially for an arcade game. I would not expect this to be in arcades. If it be a full-fledged RPG experience. It's pretty cool. So you got towns you can explore, you can talk to the townspeople, get hints on what to do. And you have caves and dungeons and stuff to explore. It's really neat. Yeah, it's really a really cool experience. I mean, this feels like Rest On, but with a RPG feel. There's another game that was originally released, I think, on the Genesis or maybe the Super Nintendo that kind of reminds me of this game as well. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, really cool side-scrolling RPG. You level up, you can buy equipment. When I first loaded the save game, you saw that the fighter here had different equipment. You can buy at the weapon shop in town. There's portals you have to go through. The music's great. Graphics are awesome. I love how big the sprites are. Animations are great. Fighting is pretty straightforward. Oh, we got a higher level. Awesome. And each time the timer goes down, you lose your life. And if you lose all your health, you lose life. The cool thing, though, is that unlike the arcades, you can just hit a button and you get a credit, and the credit acts as your life. So you essentially play through the entire game without needing to spend actually any real money, which is awesome. So yeah, really great RPG experience. One I definitely would recommend checking out if you want to get this game either on its own. Get this game you can buy on its own. or if you want to buy it as part of this collection. Alright, back title screen, and we're going to move on to the next game. So we got Thunder Fox. This is one of the games, actually, it's not available separately. You cannot buy this game separately. It's on the Switch. This is available only in this collection. Only way to get it. So pretty cool beat 'em up. Very futuristic. Huge, wonderful, beautiful sprites. Kind of reminds me of like a side-scrolling Commando. Pretty cool game. What I don't like is the fact that you have a different button for your projectile weapons than you do your melee attack, which I think is kind of annoying. Because here you are trying to fire your gun, and you end up not doing anything because you don't have your gun. But yeah, pretty cool game overall. Pretty enjoyable. I like the fact you can play 2 players. Pretty neat. And again, you can hit the credit button to get more credits. And just like with the other games, you can create an interrupt save, you can adjust game settings, number of lives, difficulty, timer display, continue, all that fun stuff. Alright, we're going to go ahead and... we're going to continue on. And we got Renark, Warrior Blade, and Dead Connection left. I like how it gives you the controls right there at the beginning. So, Renark here, you got a couple different choices here for characters. I'm going to go ahead and choose this one here. And all of them have their different attributes, as you can see there. This again is another side-scrolling beat-em-up game. This game, when I first started playing this game immediately reminded me of both Streets of Rage, but more along the lines of like what you'd find with like the Punisher that was released, I think, back on the... I don't remember what platform it was on, but I know the Punisher is a is a side-scroll beat-em-up game that I've played in the past, and this game definitely has that kind of Punisher feel to it, Commando feel to it. And overall, it's a pretty cool game. Not as good as the others, I will admit. It's not as polished feeling as some of the other games in the collection, but it's still nice that it's here. Nope, I need to pick that up. Oops, oh well. Can I just... fine, I'll just drop it. So there's tons of enemies on the screen, which I kind of like. But again, not as polished as other games on this collection. But again, I'm glad it's here. It's a decent game. Not the best, but decent. Got some great animation to it. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Nope. Wrong. Oh, come on, wrong button. There we go. Oh, nope. Wrong button again. Okay, here we go. So, moving on to Warrior Blade. Another great game in this collection. So we're going to go ahead and pick... let's go ahead and pick the wonderful Rastan. I like how Rastan makes several appearances in these games. It's great. Great character. So again, really fun arcade style beat 'em up. Beautiful sprites. I love the fact that it has like a comic book feel to it. Like it's not a comic book, it's like a comic strip feel to it. Like a newspaper comic strip is really what the game feels like. Like with its art direction. Pretty cool. So I'm gonna pick where we want to go. Let's go ahead and go to the palace. Again, I love the art style in this game. It's beautiful. Beautiful game right here. Okay, so now that we've taken a look at Warrior Blade, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the last game in this set, which is Dead Connection. A very interesting game. Different than what I was expecting. Again, I went into most of these games blind. I knew I played Kadash. I played the first Rustan. I played Bubble. I played Rainbow Islands. But some of these games, I've never played. This being one of them. I never played this before this collection, and I thought it was kind of interesting. So in this game, oops, wrong button. You pick a character. I'll go ahead and go with Philip, because why not? And you essentially just have to clear enemies in each stage. The game reminds me of like the game Wild Guns, but different. If that makes sense. I think it's the game I'm thinking of. Maybe I'm thinking Sunset Riders. I don't really recall what the name of the game was, but it's got that arcade shooter feel to it, but also with a little bit of, I guess, Curry Warriors feel to it. I guess about the best game I can compare it to. But just sit here just killing the enemies here on screen. Yeah, take out all the enemies in the time limit, and that's it. Pretty easy concept. Not a hard game at all. At least not initially. It does get a bit more difficult as the game goes on, but overall, interesting game. Neat concept. Easy to pick up. I guess not so easy to put down. In my case, it's not a game that I'll sit here and play for long. It's not my cup of tea really. Decent game. Don't get me wrong. It's got some great animations to it. What I don't understand is why it's in Japanese, but the audio is in English, which makes me believe that it might have been something that's going to come to America but never did. But it's a decent game. Not the best game in the world, but a decent game nonetheless. Much better games on this collection, in my opinion. But I'm glad it's here for those people that want to check it out. And yeah, I'm going to go end the review here. This has been a look at Taito Milestones 3, courtesy of Ending Games. So I thank them very much for the opportunity. It's a beautiful collection. Definitely worth checking out. I also want to thank Purehound for providing the recode. And I'll thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. As always, until next time, take care and happy gaming.